Right now, I'm just doing my own audio dubbing, but I'll likely just overdub it later. Well, one of the most recent pickups I picked up from my mother's old home, I came across this very old PC my mother had, which is her workstation. So, um, what you see here is what you get, right? So, I don't know how it looks on camera, but this is what it looks like as is. It's very old, late 90s to early 2000s thing. I don't exactly recall when she got it, but then again, the way it was made, it was, it's just, it was what it was for the time. So, might also notice that there are a lot of markings. My mother just likes to write stuff onto it though, and is like all over the place. As far as I know, there isn't much to say when it comes to, you know, she just likes to do that a lot. So I'm gonna just show you what it is at the moment as is, but I'm gonna give it a look inside. See, actually, there's some things that is good to know about this case because it's mostly just fine, right? Right now on the front here you have a I guess it's just a compact disc. It's just accepts CDs. Then you have a floppy drive, uh, two USBs right on the edge, and you got like power button that, and also it's kind of hard to do it, but you can actually just press it, and you got where you can just do that, store disk. And it has a model number too. That's actually cool. I'll probably look it up later. I was so young at the time, I have no idea what this is. I don't know. This thing is, besides the dust, grime, and smoke. She does a lot of smoking during that time, and all the other elements. Yeah, this case. I'm gonna be busy working on this guy. I'll give it that. And it's actually not too bad on the side as well. In fact, we even still got some pretty helpful specs that's been left untouched for a long time. So it's made from Compaq, and we are looking at the 5BW127 5000 series. So it comes with a processor, Intel Celeron processor at 600 megahertz with 64 megabytes of total system memory. And comes with 11 megabytes of allocated as video memory. So I guess that's good for built-in video. Sorry, graphics. Don't expect much from that, but it's something. 15 gigabytes of hard drive and a CD-ROM drive and a 56K modem. Yeah, doesn't sound too bad for this case. And on the back end, though, yeah, that's gonna be mine. That's actually really good. It actually comes with one, so that's awesome. But I'm gonna have to blur that out just in case. But other than that, the back is not too bad. I don't think the ports isn't that has not been used a whole lot, kind of. But if I can get the camera working, it does come with some things, but that's you can really tell how crappy this whole thing looks. But yeah, I say that's pretty all right. So yeah, it's looking pretty all right in my case. And of course, as an extra, I may as well just leave it onto the side. Um, turning milk money into millions. I don't know, or that greed. That, yeah, there's a lot of stuff around here. That's just she loves to write all over it. I don't know how difficult it is to remove markings on this. I don't have all the tools necessary to make that work, but um, I'll try my best to do something about it. I might need like Mr. Clean just to get that taken care of. So yeah, other than the yellowing and yellowing, it is because it's quite yellowed. I think it was like much whiter before it became that. It's um, it exists. I thought this case was no more, but I'm glad that it exists. Ugh. Well, I noticed there's a little bit of like mold developed. If I can get a good close up here, yeah. Look at that. Wait a minute. It might be metal. I had to look into that. So I'm not sure how one can really get into this machine, but I want to do a restore. I want to restore it and see if I can get it to work. Especially, I have a project that I want to do to relive the glory days of like my experience with Windows 98 and that. And by the way, this one also comes with Windows 98 built in. So I also have a recovery disk too, but I don't know if I don't know. Not that it matters too much because if I have to, I'm thinking of like get the data on the off of this at least, and then repurpose it for something like if it's like too powerful for my other bill. This is actually a sweet spot if you ask me for like older, maybe I don't know. So how am I supposed to get into this one, and how bad is it gonna look? I don't think I ever said look into this case before, and none of us has ever been, never will. So this is gonna be interesting to see, and I cannot wait. Um, I can't wait, because PC maintenance is what I do. So I would suspect maybe if you press this, maybe it'll do something, right? I don't know. Ooh. Oh gosh. Order style kits. Where can I find out? Wow, I never seen that before. Download just two of them. There's something that's a little cleaner. uh oh my god. You can really tell yeah, that's in French, but man, you can really tell the timeline it was from. World Wide Web and that. Hang on, I need to like use my other hand just to get what it reads on the other end. All right, so it kind of reads something like, "Where can I find information?" And that's pretty helpful. Pretty helpful, really. Yeah. Well, I guess the only way to really, ugh, you guys may be gross by it already, but I'm not gross about it. I do detailing, janitorial duty on my spare time. That's nothing to me. So we're gonna have to figure out how to get in it. And I guess that's part of the fun. And I guess the first place to start is to unscrew this guy. And I think the only way to do that, which actually doesn't seem like it's screwed in, isn't it? Maybe it's been checked in before, but I wonder what this thing does. So I'm just doing it like, I see. So I guess if I pull down, if I pull, maybe it'll work. No. What does that do? Yeah. Yep. I never opened a case like this. But I'm gonna get it working. I might have to do a jump cut. I need a moment. Okay, so I was able to pull it out. It does take effort. You just have to like pull this here. So I can't wait to see what it looks like. What does light do here? Oh, sweet. I need this. All right. Here is a moment of truth. My goodness. I was expecting worse. But, wow. That's looking actually a lot better. There is dust still, yes, and webs and little insects, webs. Okay, yeah, maybe there is some of that, especially on the front cover. And you have a power supply. I think it's good to know what it is. 325 60 GT. Trying to find the output. 235 watt. Okay. That's actually very short. The small actually is pretty adequate, but oh my gosh, that's still dusty beneath it. But here it is. Man, that poor fan. That poor cooler running that 600 megahertz processor. I mean, it's not the best, but for the time, I guess it does a serviceable job. And you got network card, nothing special. No GPU, like external one. These are PCI, I find, so that's something. That's good to know. But again, I'm not seeing any AGB card slots. You can still insert a GPU that is PCI compatible, I guess. That's not going to stop anyone, but it feels off without it. So yeah, you have like, the aforementioned, but actually, okay, you have like the CD up there, and you have one for floppy drive, just like that, and you have two extra USB slots. Again, might be a little tricky. I'm trying to like put my phone in such a way it's a little hard to make out. I might have to change the coin battery since I think that was like completely drained. I feel like this computer has not been in use for over, I'm trying to think, has it been like 15 to 18 years or something like that? Like, it's a very old PC. Very old PC. And I don't know. I don't think it has not been looked into for a long time. I have to make sure that everything else is fine. I think there might be one that's maybe this one might be bulging slightly, but I'm not seeing anything that looks like no real leakage or something. So at the very least, like even if it's mildly bulging, that's okay. It doesn't look too bad. Yeah, there is a stick around, but only just one stick. I don't know what the total capacity is, but I can look it up online. Now we have some information about it. Yep, this could use some work. I feel like it could use a lot of work. So this is going to be something I wanted to do. And you know what? If this works out, great. I'll be able to like reuse parts, or maybe keep it. I already ordered parts for my my own personal Windows 98 project later on. But this one has Windows 98 on it already. So I want to see if I can restore you the best of my abilities, but at least try to get the components clean and checked, and I don't know, whatever I can to get it to work. So that's my goal here. My goal is to like refurbish one. Well, not it's just a refurbish, but it's just make it work. Make it seem like bring it back to life somehow. So it's gonna be something. Okay, so we're just gonna take this thing because it doesn't matter much. We're just gonna set it gently to the side. Okay, that's a little bit rough, but luckily that's what it's for. Yeah. I'm gonna need more light so I can really see it. Just a moment. Alright, so rather than using my this, I'm just gonna use this. My phone. Yeah, I can use a light, but I could use this one. I have several tools of the tray to do the job, but you can really tell I'm just like really scrappy. I'm a scrappy kind of guy, but I've been doing PCs on and off for since I've taken college, about good, yeah, a decade. But it's not something I do as a job, though I like to. I definitely would like to do that. But yeah, we need to start by prying off the parts here. So let's see how we're gonna go about that. Okay, another jump cut. I'm just gonna use my plain toolkit here. Nothing fancy. Uh, Assumingly so. So, I don't have the bet. I don't have like a table to work on. I'm doing it solely on the floor, if you can tell. And there are stuff and that I'm just gonna save up for when I get around to do my own personal retro machine coming soon. Possibly quite later on this November, but I guess I can do something else in the meantime to get accustomed to Windows 98, the older operating system, just because. Just because I want to go back. I've been, thinking about the good old days quite a lot lately. I thought about like going back. Take me back, guys. Take me back. And I want to like just can't beat the oldie. This has been like an old tool for a long time. See if that still works. Now I am pretty sure that that has been discharged, but a good common practice is to make sure that if there is any power, you should probably just press and hold down anyway. Hold down for a number seconds, usually up to 10. But by the looks of it, though, there is no power. Of course, this has been in suspended state for a long time. I do think my mother kind of does use this on and off, but slowly she would start to use it less. Once she got around to start using, a newer XP machine, I think I know that, and that's when she started to just like forget that this PC even exists. I think maybe she still uses it sometimes. I don't know. It's yeah, you know. But I don't think it has not been like looked after since a long time. But that's why I wanted to just take this opportunity to just start by doing that. Whatever you do, don't do what I do, okay? Because I might do things. I'm not, We may as well start it off easy. Just take off this. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I'm doing a bad job holding onto the camera as I try my best to unscrew the screws. I don't know how good they are. But it's actually not too tight. It's tight enough, but it's alright. So it contains a Celeron processor running at 600 megahertz. My guess is that, without looking into it too much, I think it's just like a Pentium 3 or maybe a Pentium 2. My guess, anyway. I'm not sure. But we'll find out. We'll find out soon enough. Here we go. Ah, look at that. Foxconn. You guys ever heard of Foxconn? I kind of do. Do they still make them? Maybe, maybe not. And, oh my god. Oh my god. All that needs is a good little washing. That's what it really needs. I think that might be wait, no, I can't remove it just yet because there's that. Now the next challenge is, how do I remove that? You ask me. Well, there's that little lever. So, if... Yeah, might as well just like... I'm doing a bad job. I'm not worried about like discharging this machine since it's like no power, but it is a good habit, you know, but most of us usually don't bother. I would say that M might be the reason, so you can see this thing, right? Today, build sometimes does have little ledges like that. But now I'm curious as to wonder how do you even... I wouldn't imagine. Okay. This is like a puzzle for me. I don't like these things at all. Try my best not to like nudge that a bit too much. How do you actually do that? Unless... No. Well, I might do something stupid, but I'm gonna save the last option in case. I wonder what that bit here does, though. Again, I haven't really looked into this set, but I kind of like to learn as I go, so... The worst case is I probably might wreck it. What I do know is that you have to like pull that little... push that lever. It's a bit hidden under that set and here. Again, I know I'm scrappy at it. Okay. So what you gotta do... Oh my gosh, you can't really see my finger now. Here, can you? You just press down. It should come up like that. I think I did. No, I did not. No, I did not. Not yet. Push down. Not to push onto the capacitors. Maybe it's stuck because of this cooler. Well, I need to know how to get that off, so... I'm gonna have to like pause here because this is not an easy task with just one hand. Okay, just a small update. I made progress to it. Yeah, you have to pull. You have to like do this little update. So I was able to like pull that little or push down and do so with tools, unconventional tools to really do it. I had to use like one of these. I despise, builds that has these things surrounding it, making it like so much difficult. And this is like my least hated type of coolers, right? I mean, they do a good job keeping it soldered onto the processor, but that's the thing. I despise these kinds. I'd rather have it like, screwed down. But it should come off now. So, look at that. Oh my goodness. I never seen such color. Aha. It's one of those pre-applied thermal paste. I don't know how hard that's gonna come off, but it's something, right? Well, I gotta clean this up too, and I don't know, but I'm keeping that because I feel like this has never been like cleaned up in like ever. And if I can just like scoop this around. It's a Celeron, all right. It's also already been like unlocked, by the way. I had to like pulled it out, and that too is a bit like of a circus. But yeah, here we go. You guys want to see what an old processor looks like? I'll show you. Here she is. Okay, it has. Look at that. Pretty healthy, thankfully. And surprisingly, this I'm holding onto it, but they're surprisingly light. Surprisingly light for these kind of processors. In spite of the fact they're just like the low ends, but that's what they are. So Yeah, and that is a processor in the middle right there. That tiny little guy. Nowadays, you have like these really big things as like bigger than this, but you know, that's not just saying that all boards are like big like that. I don't know, but that's a Celeron right there. Pretty small little guy. Yeah. This is the kind of technology I kind of grew up with early on. I had a Windows computer, but it ran on a Pentium 2, if I recall. That's what I remember. I know for sure. But this one is, I think it's maybe a Pentium 3. But I could be wrong because it's a Celeron. But now with that chip out of the way, it's time to get the rest of the stuff out of here. We may as well just start by unplugging the components here, one thing at a time, and that. And I want to like give it a good extensive cleaning, right? And show you the process of it. And even for me, especially. So we need to like unscrew these guys out of here while I try my best to. I'm thinking of repurposing this PC as something of a retro one. I don't know, but I've been thinking about it lately, considering the. Oh my. Oh my. Oh my god. This one came out. No problem. This right here. I don't know why it's like so tight. Oh my god. Oh. It's gonna like, oh wow. What the heck? What the heck? I don't know if it's because this thing is like threading it, but it's like maybe it's not thick. Maybe it's not thick enough. I don't know. Let me try a different tool. Yeah, here we go. I decided to use a fatter bit and nice and fat. Nice and fat. All right. Now, get out of here. Get out of here. Okay, I got it now. I got it. Holy jumps. I tell you, some people just screw it in a little too tight. Sorry. Oh. It's not rusty by any means, but that should be fine. I miss it when there's like single card lanes. Nowadays we have like 2 cards, 3 cards, or piece, that. It's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. Might as well just like play this out. That comes from the. It might be important later, but at least I know where it goes. I'm recording this whole thing, even just for myself. And especially for this, And hell, you know what? With these extra cables and stuff, that's going to be great as like spares in case something goes wrong. If it works anyway. After I give this boy a good cleaning up and then some loving, right? I wonder if that's the hard drive. I think that could be a hard drive. Because I have not seen the hard drive anywhere. In that case, that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. Anyway, I'm going to just pull this guy out. Oh, wait a minute. Let me check. Sometimes there may be these things, but no, I don't think it requires too much effort. Oh, you just slide them out. Just like that. And that there is a network card of some kind, but it's more like a phone line. Remember back in the day, you have to like plug these things in if you want to go online. You know. And that's just a PCI card, not a PCIe, in case if you're wondering. I mean, it is actually compatible, I believe.
No, dumbass. They are not compatible.
It's PCI Express. Actually, I think it's just I don't know if you can hear that, but it sounds a little funny. Now, let's do the same for this guy. I think that might be a multi something, but it might as well just be Ethernet. Now we'll just gently pull you up. Gently as well. I try my best to not damage whatever I can, but sometimes stuff like this just like there's nothing holding me back or whatever, right? I'm scared. This thing is in pretty tight. Oh, that's why I was afraid of doing, but luckily it's not. It's fine. It's fine. Ooh, it reminds me of the Audi Tech or something, but it says multi on it. But I think that's just I think that's more of an Ethernet thing. I believe. Yeah, I think that's what it is. It's the Ethernet card. Not sure why it says multi on it, but it's a network card, of course. Another variant. The only difference you have one for that. So yeah, we're making a good progress. A coin battery, likely that needs to be replaced. Absolutely. But this one is very easy. All you have to do is just press that thing down and it should like pop up. I think. It should. It should come out. Okay, hold on. Let me use like one of those better tools of a trade. There we go. Thank you. I fix it. Totally not sponsored. At least, you know. I actually got this kit many Christmases ago. See how that looks. Actually it looks concerning though. I never seen like a little rings around it. Might see it a little better at like this. I mean, it's not the worst case, as long as nothing corrosive leaks. I think that's fine. And yeah, I think you know. Um, I'm not sure if I want to put back in the network cards, but hey, it's progress, right? So now we gotta pull the this here. This is a 20 pin, I think. Yeah, I can quickly count there. 20 pins here. So I think all you just have to do, if it's not too tight, I could just. It takes effort. It takes quite the effort. Now, unless I had to like pull this tab, or wait, if I pull the tab, then yeah, okay. I'm an idiot actually though, but that's okay. You gotta like press here in order to just like, eh, 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 eh. If not, it just like goes like that. That's intended, you know, but that's fine. It's good to re-educate yourself when you do PCs and stuff. And now you guys are wondering, what the heck is this? What the heck is this? I never seen these floppy things. And what's this? Well, my dear viewers, I'm gonna give you a little education on what these are. These are called PETA things, and they fulfill the PETA drives, or essentially, this was before SATA drives. They're basically the, you know, before we had like smaller form factor, and this is before NVMe drives. You know, these things powers your CDs and even these PETA drives. Yeah, that's what they functioned back in the day. I may as well show you an example of what I'm talking about. You youngsters nowadays have this. They see the SATA cable. So you only have one end, but they match, right? one end, and that's all it is. It's straightforward. You plug in your DVD drive or your hard drive in that, but it still is being offered today. But for a good while, um, for like probably well over 2 decades. Forgive my brother. He really likes to just laugh out loud and that, but I'm not sure if that's going to be fixed in the post edit. I don't know, but um, um, the Peta drives. What's cool about these is that you can actually hook two of them at once. You have this spare one that you could just plug maybe like in here or there or somewhere, right? And at the time, you could set one as either a primary drive or the master, or the secondary drive as slave drive. Yeah, I know that's weird. It's a weird concept, but that's how it works, right? So you can actually just set it up. But if you're going to do that, you better make sure you set the other one as either master or slave, depending on the configuration. Now, if you're my brother, so does it matter if one end is either master or slave? Like, does master have all the benefits as the slave does, or vice versa? Not really. It's more like it's just, to my knowledge, you just sort. It's like if you're gonna have like two things in a single cable, you want to make sure you have one as the primary and the secondary as secondary. Like. Now then, I shall. This is going to be a little different for me since I want to be accustomed to it. Now, there usually is a cable. There's usually this. Will you pipe down? The show must go on, right? Get used to that, guys. It's going to be 4 hours. So, you press on these edges here. Just press it on the edges. It's hard to see, but that's it. You just press it on these edges. And it has like, that many. And that's it. That's all you have to do. You do the same for the other one. There's also another cable, but I will get to that in a bit. And that's something I actually learned recently too. You just pull it out on its edges, wiggle it a little bit, then I really don't want to screw this up. Sometimes it has different colors, but that's all right. I like how that has this little thing above it. So okay, that's cool. Never seen this. Oh wow, cool. Okay. Gets a little messy, but oh yeah, sometimes you get these. You can use it to don't cut it off. You'll need it, I swear. Especially for that little part. But I want to take out the hard drive before I do anything more to it. I still feel like I need to get the other cables and that, so I know I'm going all over the place here. And I guess in order to access that, I'm gonna have to find a way, actually. How do you actually do that? Well, I may as well just. It's a lot harder with just one hand. I don't know how often I'm gonna apologize, but I can't apologize enough. So I'm sorry. This is probably not gonna be the best kind of videos that you'll ever be seeing on this channel, at least in my attempt. But I'm doing this because I thought it would be fun for a change. I may as well just pry this. This one is different, I think. This one is actually floppy drive. It looks like Peta cables, these, but they actually have a difference though. You might notice this little twist here. That's intentional. Because that's what it is. That's what it is. It actually has its own little connector hidden right here. they function identically to the say the to the petas, but it's just that. Some of them have ribbons or hooks that you could just you just like just do that. But we don't have that here. But you know what make it easier actually if I pull that thing here. I'm not exactly sure. I think that's actually for the front. Yeah, I think that's actually for the front. Oh, you know what I think that could be? You know what I think that could be? Well, oh, okay, yeah, I see. It is neatly. I can feel it. So you just gently pull these up. Oh wow, that's so cool. It even has a little thing. That's okay. That's perfectly fine. Okay, that's actually really cool. Oh, why shouldn't they? Okay, I'll give him that though. I'll give him that. I'll give him that. This is like for like LEDs when it comes to like reading disc or powering it on reset stuff like that. You don't see a lot. It's hard to see without too much light, but that's really cool. Compaq actually came up with something pretty neat, especially this little thing, so you know how to align it, right? That's intentional. It doesn't need all the pins, but it's cool to know. That will make putting it back together heckin' a lot easier. And I forgot what this little guy does, but actually it does have a little tab, I think. Where is it? Let me try something here. Okay, that's simple. Wait a second. I think that's for something else, was it? That's probably for something else, was it? Let me. Sometimes it's doing PC projects like this is a fun experience. Oh yeah, pretty fun stuff. All right, we almost got most of them off. I just wanted to get this floppy drive connector here. It actually has a different layout too. Actually, it has a different layout. How if one of them don't fit or doesn't fit in is because you can see this whole thing is smaller, and you also have this little filled in hole. So, yeah. Compared to this one, the Peta drive, you may notice this up here is actually filled. So don't mix this up with that. If you're a dummy, low cores, you're gonna be like, like it's more like an anti-geek like keeping like, why can I fit? Oh, I see. Okay. Lesson of the day, guys. That's your lesson of the day. And then you also have this. I also learned, which I actually learned just since yesterday. Oh, I hope that doesn't involve like pressing something down. And I don't like it when it's like jamming, How do you get that out now? Does it require? This is the first time for me actually, but I'm learning it just like you guys, right? That's the power, by the way, to the floppy drive. Yeah, I'm trying to see if I'm doing something right or something wrong. It's supposed to come out. Okay, it does come out just fine. I get a bit nervous somewhat. Look at this interesting, unique connection. Uh-huh. That's cool. Alright. I still need to figure out how to get this here out. If I'm noticing something that is like not if it's not like obvious right off the bat, I think there is, because there's that. I'm gonna need a tool for that. Just a moment. when when one size isn't long enough, you have this long pool. Ugh. Let's just hope it only just takes one. Unless if there's a way to access the other end, which I think I might have to do that actually. I think that's going to make the installation a lot easier. So far, I've been doing this on just one side only. But if it's required, that's no problem. Okay. It's on there pretty. Oh, there. Actually, no. I guess it just takes one. Oh, well. Luckily it's just dust. This is honestly healthier than I imagined, though. Very healthy drive ish. As in, no rust. I know I'm just like crying everything. I'm definitely am crying. Trying and crying. That. I can't really rest my phone in the way because the case, the way the case is just would not let me do it. So I had to like wrestle with this. Another jump cut. Okay, so I managed to successfully pry off the power in the connection. So this here is an IDE drive as opposed to SATA drives or the bubblegum sticks of gum. And there's one interesting feature this one has. See this here? That's where you make modifications to it. It's this stupid blur. It's a little hard to really get a good viewing. Oh, stop that camera. You really don't want to cooperate with me, don't you? Okay, this is probably the best quality you'll ever get to see. I may need to look it up, what its setting is made on, but you have a setting that you can set it to either a master, slave, or other configuration, just by moving that white piece. That way, this machine will tell you, like, oh, this is a master machine, and that's how it goes. So, if you're ever going to do configuration, neither of them should be either not both of them should neither be slaves or masters on a single cable, right? You can't have two masters and two slaves simultaneously, but each one must be unique for each cable. That's why there's like again, what you probably noticed from earlier is that you have, for example, this cable that I pried out. You might notice the second one in the middle. That's something SATA drives lacked. Well, I guess it's because it's kind of pointless, right? So this one is either master or slave, either end. But can't be like you can't make them the same, to my knowledge anyway. But you can have like both of them. That's like there's like two of them installed. So yeah, floppy drives are their own unique thing. So one or the other. Did you know Microsoft Windows platforms, even the Windows 11 still supports drive A's and drive B's for floppy drives? Yeah, the more you know. Okay, so the last step, I guess we'll just have to get that off of there. Now I wonder what this little tab here does. If I can go all the way like that. So I think you could just like slide out just like that. Right? You just press and it should push. Unless it's like screwed in. I guess I'm gonna have to do a bit more work. Just a minute. Okay, I stand corrected. There is no way to actually access the other end of it though. So I'm gonna try and remove this battery component. The power supply component before I start taking out the rest. So once I get most of that, then I'll be able to take out the motherboard, and then I'll see what I can do when it comes to getting it all cleaned up. All right, so removing the battery, or sorry, power supply unit, is not a difficult task to do. This poor guy is so crappy looking. Oh man. I don't know how good I can make it, but I do hope it's still okay. I might need to give it a bit of a test before. Yeah. Oh. This angled thing. Yeah, I mean, it's an old power supply, but I'm pretty sure it still works just fine. There is just one other component I'm neglecting to, but we will save that for later. But now I can just take this out again. You can have like up to 4, you know, you can still have like 4 drives, but it's just different. This is the first time that's probably why this is where this is like hook up to. Okay, that's cool. I think I'll hang on to it for the time being. I don't know why this would be plugged in here, but all right. Now, can this be slide out? No, but can I? Should I be able to? I will need to test to see if the CD drive still works. That's the question that I've always been wondering, and that goes the same for this, but I guess I'll see if I can get that. Alright. It's not being super clear with me, but maybe this whole thing can actually be taken off, but I don't know. Try my best to just like be gentle with it. That's the whole thing when it comes to like delicate components, especially when you're dealing with aging machine and components. That's the thing about OEMs. They can be a bit tight. From here, I'll just stop recording from this point and show you how I do it. Okay, I'll admit this took me a lot more investigation than I realized. Now you might notice the front case came off the way it is, and that's because there is a way to do that. Now don't freak out. You can actually put this back in its place, but I thought this whole thing can be come up, but it's a lot more difficult. I don't know if it's like reversible enough, but I didn't go like too far. So I kind of just like look around a little bit, and you might notice these are little arrows. Guess what? This thing has this. So what you're meant to do, you have to like pull it from beneath, and then it just comes off like that. Thankfully, no visible damage is seen, but this thing is tight, not gonna lie. I don't know how they make them like this, but I think it's holding up all right. But what is important now is I can actually like pull this drive and this unused one, and then you got this one, so that means I can actually do it this way now. Might require 2. Oh wait. Because all it takes is a little. There we go. That wasn't so tough, now was it? I just had to use 2 of my fingers. So I'm very surprised. Other than dirt, this thing is pretty healthy looking. I don't know what make this thing is it, but oh, look at that. There's your clue. May 2000. This computer, or at least one of the components in here, is from May 2000. How flippin' cool is that? Now, I doubt this is like the oldest component. I think some might be newer, but So I'll show you anyway, since this one is easier. You just press on these tabs, and then you just pull them out. I had to use both of my hands with a CD writer, but here she be. The floppy drive, floppy drive, floppy drive, floppy drive. I feel like I invited flies in my room thanks to this PC now. Thanks. I wouldn't worry about these empty bits, but that might be helpful if I want to like give it a little cleaning anyway. Again, I'm not too sure. At least one of them just like clips or something like that. Actually, that might not be a bad thing. This is just. Oh, that's perfectly fine. This looks a little. Actually, this is actually rusty. Not that it has anything in it. It's actually pretty. It's just a block. It's just a tin block. Nothing special. That's why those tabs exist. You can actually fit both the 2 CDs, DVDs, and both floppy drives as well. But this one only has like one of each. So that's that. I think this case is still fine looking. No damage, I think. I'll need to give it an inspection before I get too carried away. Alright, floppy drive number 2, aka the empty bay, is free. So now this whole case is looking a lot lighter. And the little power button. It's got that nice press to it though. This is fine, we'll just leave it as is. It's part of the machine, we can't do much about it though. I think it's holding up alright. The Chanel comes with Windows 98, in case if you don't know. It's plastered on the side. Specifically, it comes with the 2nd edition. I'd much rather go for the 2nd edition than the original because it has slightly better compatibility and support. Alright, we're almost done. The last thing we're gonna do is, well, the RAM. So, how do we deal with the RAM, you ask? Well, you got these familiar these things here. So, all you have to do is just push the tabs down, and it comes up. That's kind of easy. Let's see. I doubt this is probably one of the older sets, probably made by Compaq Computer. I might need to look it up what kind of RAM this is, other than that it is a 64 gig RAM chip.
That's megs to you, dummy.
So, in theory, this can hold up to 128 for the higher end variants. There's also a nice collection it does. Luckily, there's no corrosion or RAM. No corrosion anywhere on this. So yeah, I'm very grateful. It's just dust. Yeah, so far this whole rig is looking pretty healthy-ish. It just needs a lot of cleaning up and quite a bit of love, but yeah, it's not the worst state in terms of like the way how it is. But yeah, I would say this is pretty doable. Now I think the last step is to just take out this motherboard and give it a little bit of cleaning. From here, I'm gonna need to stop here once again to do a little unscrewing, and with the magic of jump cut, I unscrewed the number of these guys. But I would say it would be a lot better if I could just like pluck them out, but we'll just take out. So I'm surprised these things aren't like very tightly screwed in. That's why it didn't take long for me to do that, and they're not difficult to find either. I know I'm not well, actually, I shouldn't be worried about it too much. This pretty much just discharge. Everything is. Now, the last step is to just pull her out and take a good look at what's behind. Now to just gently pry it out. That's actually very easy. Very easy. So I just pull this up like that. And yeah, well, it's surprisingly clean on the back end. But how's this motherboard looking on the back? It's looking pretty good. Pretty good if you ask me. One of the better looking I've seen in a good while. And let's not forget this. Um, all right. Actually, if I remember, you just pretty sure you just like press. I actually forget. I think you I don't think that's how you do it. I mean, I think these things are supposed to come out the other way around. Well, I don't know if it's actually possible to pry this off, considering how it's just the way it is. I think maybe it is, but it's really on there pretty tight. In fact, by the looks of it, it doesn't look like there is no way to really pry it off without, you know, pressing it a little too hard. But I think this is as far as I can go. I'm gonna like resample it anyway later, so I'll just leave this IO as is. Everything else, I would say is fine. I guess. Um, Other than the USB and that thing for the front. So yeah, everything is all taken apart. Took me a bit of struggle for some, but that's part of the learning, right? Luckily, nothing is harm in the making of taking this. So for now, I'm just gonna end it here for this time. I am gonna be doing some cleaning up, and you will see that in a bit.
Over an hour later.
Yeah, this took me hours to clean each components with grace and care. So my room, as of now, is a bit of a mess, but sometimes you just gotta get dirty in order to get things clean. So naturally, I had to do what I had to do. So the great thing is I'm able to actually get the markers off. It took me a good while, and I'm glad I have the magic eraser, or at least what we have in the house. Isopropyl with 70% content really help for most things, getting rid of like stuff. So yeah, I apologize for the fact that it's a mess, but can't apologize enough for that. Even the case here is a lot nicer. It's a little hard to see because of a chair. I can't wait to put this together, but before we get ahead of ourselves, let's do things one at a time, but in reverse order. And I'll just clean up as I go along. Alright, well, before I actually did, I had to double check, and I missed some spots, but like, around here. So, again, magic eraser. Um, Not much I could do about the yellowing, but I think I'll just leave it as is. If I have like the retro brighting, yeah, I would totally do that, but I don't know. I think this is as best as I can go for this kind of project, you know. But regardless, look at that. Right off the bat, I at least gave it the best I could. I probably might miss some spots somewhere. Perhaps maybe somewhere tucked back there, but little crevices and places like that. Sometimes it can be a little tiny, but then that's not too bad. But yeah, I make sure that I try to get much as I can. Sometimes I forget I miss a spot or two, but I probably don't want to go too crazy over it. There is a little bit of rust, just a very minor ones, but other than that, I would say this is good enough to be put back into it, and we are gonna go and do it in reverse order. Pretty much starting with the motherboard. Right now, I don't have much to really say about the motherboard, but this, is Intel Celeron based platform, and it is the PGA 370.
so it's likely to be a Pentium 3-ish base. I could totally be wrong. Maybe I'll post some kind of correction, but
You are right for once. Good job, dummy.
you know, I know stuff, not everything. I'm not like a technical nerd, but I know, you know, some things. I do know from my cleaning is that most of these components are released, in the 2000s. Even the processor came out in the 2000s. It'll make sense though when we get around to it. So we'll just put this nice boy in this place. This is also for the size. This is kind of. I think it's like micro ATX or something, or ITX. That's more. I think that's more of an ITX. I think. So let's put that in here. Now, as far as standoffs goes, I don't think I've seen any. So we could just gently place it down here. It's been like this since, so it should be fine. Right? I think so. Oh, don't want these parts to get jammed by these. Why did they have to make them like this? Just let me fit these guys in here. Oh yeah. Yeah. Carefully line up some of the holes, so when we get to that point, we will get to that point. And I'm gonna do just that. I know I haven't showed you the process of like screwing it back in, and I'm gonna show you how. At least for one of them. Or one at a time if I could find my where did I put my trusty thing? Oh, yeah, screwdriver right here. Totally not shaking. Alright, I need a light. I need to shine a light. You need to see the process a little better. I feel like this is like another one of those Druga one's videos. Funnily enough, I've been like watching his stuff. I mean, I've seen his content before. It's I'm kind of like him. He's like improv kind of guy, right? I like improvisations sometimes like that. On one hand, you have one side of the YouTube where you have these professional PC geeks that, they know they know their stuff. They know what they're talking about. And you know what? Oh, crap. Wait a minute. You better not be off, are you? Oh, no. I don't know why you're like that. You'll just have to see it. Oh, right. Yeah. Guess what? Phone lighting. Well, duh, you could just use that. Sure. Yeah, sure, right. I could totally do it that way. My current phone does provide a lot of juice, and, for nearly 2 years old, the Android phone does wonders for me. So, yeah. Anyway, that's 3 down. I believe there's like 5 of them I should screw it in, but to be frank, you don't have to like screw all of them in. If you have 4, you're probably good, but 5 is a bit excessive. The only reason that you would put 5 in is simply, well, for stability reasons. It's not required to have it all. In fact, I could just shake the board around and that's fine. It's not a bad idea though if you want to like ensure it's solid. Actually, that if there's one good thing to have a lot of screws in is simply, well, is to make it tighter. Right? So by tightening, well, by adding more of these, you're adding better stability, especially if you're gonna like be prying stuff. The board can bend, but it's actually a lot more tolerable than you think. These, oh my gosh, this thing is working now. This thing is working. I guess it just does whatever it wants. I'm gonna try to conserve my phone's battery, as much as I can, and only use backup light as my last resort. Anywho, I do think that, I'm gonna do something similar to like this when I have everything assembled for the November-ish project when it does come. So I look forward to that. I have done some PC servicing, but not like as a real job, more like a pastime, a hobby, if you will. That's what I do. I also realize, and I know that's going off tangent, but there's a spare hole that you could add a fan if you want. This case does not come with a fan, other than that, but I think it would benefit with having a fan in this place. Regardless, let's over to the next step. This is the Intel Celeron processor. Very convenient, you can see here, and this one runs at 600 hertz, and yeah, that. Look how small this die itself is, and look how, these are like pins. And I'm holding onto it though, and this thing just feels light. I'm not kidding. Manufactured at 2000, 200, you can tell. It's one of those like, it's alright kind of thing. It's not like, not quite the high end though, and I remember that, but it does a serviceable job. I think this one is actually the better than our computers of the day we do use, in our homeschool classroom of the sort. All computers are ran under Windows 98. I do believe they're all running at Pentium 2. I don't exactly recall what the speeds were, but it makes this one seem like a higher end, so it makes it seem a bit more capable. But now I get to see this beautiful CPU. Let's put this in. Now we need to find where the arrow went. If it's not properly aligned correctly, yeah, you're gonna be in for a world of hurt. I think one at size is where it needs to be at. So if you can find, let's use the power of that, because I need to like see it. It's a bit dark. I see a circle, but I can't see freaking long. Where would the arrow be? Most motherboards these days usually at least have some sort of like an arrow. I don't want to like put it like upside down or something, unless there's like a deliberate pattern of a sort. But you know what? I'm gonna just like set it like this, just to test to see. All right. Supposedly it would like hold it in like that, but it would also be the other way around. All right. I need to check on the guide, As a rule of thumb, if it doesn't like go right in too well, then you had it like at the wrong end or something. Yeah, okay, obviously it's not in. Obviously it's not in right. Okay, maybe. You know what? I think I realize now. I think I realized. Look at the back of this pen. Tell me what you're seeing, right? This is upside down, of course, but what do you see? You see this here? There is a little arrow. there's like a bigger arrow, which I mean I did see it, but there's also this little arrow. So guess what? You also have this edge. There is no arrow on that edge, but if you look at this board here, you can tell which side you're actually supposed to fit it in. I will admit I wasn't paying attention, but you're supposed to fit it in like this. Just like that. It should be in. So even if it's a little flimsy, that should be fine. But that's how you insert it. And then you... Well, actually, before we do that, we must apply... Gotta have that thermal paste. Now, I didn't show you how the cleaning process is, but it wasn't like too bad. But you gotta make sure you have thermal paste before we do, so we'll just give it a fresh one while we're at it. So you want to make sure you have like a decent amount. Okay, maybe that's a bit much, but because most of the processors I worked on, usually it takes up a lot. I also like to give it a little loving by giving a little bit of spread. Now, it doesn't have to be a perfect job, but as long as you give it a good coat, it'll do fine. Yeah, it's gonna go all over it though, but that's okay. Because that's pretty alright. Because, well, it's gonna be flattened pretty soon in a bit. Let's give it a bit more. Yeah, you know what? I think that's serviceable. And now we are gonna insert this guy. I try my best to give it a much deserved cleaning, but it's a bit tricky though. It doesn't have to be like too clean. Now I want to pay attention to where I place it, especially where it lines up. So I'm gonna just like plot it like that. Right. Yeah, it's fine. I could just like wiggle it a little bit. Helps to like, do that. You guys are learning something because this is old tech stuff. There's also this guy. This stupid thing. I don't know how hard this is going to be, but let's see. Okay. See, when it comes to like doing projects like this, you really want to make sure that's right here. Again, I know that I'm doing a terrible job with panning the camera, but I have nothing that I would be able to hold it. I might need to do another cut from here. Okay, well, that took a lot more hassle. Well, like for 4 or 5 minutes or something, but I managed to like pry it in. These things I do not really like. But as it turns out though, this processor, well, I forget to mention though that you have to like, the processor itself must be like latch into it before you can actually like put it down. So that's why I was like struggling with it though for a little longer than necessary, but hopefully I did not I don't think I damaged the processor too much, but I'll know for sure during tests. But yeah, we got this heatsink, but we also need to put on, well, the fan now. I also want to make sure that components are nice and clean, or at least the best I can do it. Well, I guess I feel like I missed some of that. Give me a minute. Okay, that's a little better. We want to make sure that it is, oh, perfect. The camera itself picks up though. Yeah, it's somewhat a bit tricky to spot, but you want to make sure that it is facing down basically just facing down. So if my memory serves correctly, you would have to put this on top of this somewhere. Actually, where do you usually put it though? I do believe you have to like put it up here. Very interesting. I might need to refer it. Yeah, I guess apparently you do just screw it in. Just like that. I'm so glad I managed to save my recordings. I don't remember which piece came from, but it's probably nothing important, I think. I hope not. Well, I know there's screws, so let's get started with the screw in. If I can find the screws. Remember to those, make sure you organize your shit. Oh, speaking of shit, I believe I found these. Now, with the screws in place, I can see why there's these bits. So if you just line it up nicely, it should fit something like that. Now it's time to just drill her in. Stupid light. Ew. Oh gosh. Dealing with late 90s tech. Oh, come on. Dealing with late 90s tech can be an experience. I wasn't taught this during college, but I learned a lot just by watching YouTube videos. So this is like an experience for me. But you know what? I would say this is probably the worst part in my opinion. I'm not saying it's the bad or anything, but I would say it's just, you know, the more challenging aspect of it, putting on this particular heat sink. Oh yeah, here we go. One more thing. Put this guy here. Right here, of course. Oh yeah, be sure to line it up. You can tell by the little notches. There's 3 pins. You want to plug it in just like that. Nothing too fancy. All's good. All's good to go. Oh yeah, all's good to go. Now, the next step we will put in, I guess at this point we'll just insert like these expansion cards. Actually, I'll probably save it for later because I want to insert RAM next. This is a 64 gigabyte RAM as is. So this board right here, that's where it goes. So I don't want to like go in there right away, but you know what? For before I guess DDR, this one actually has 2 notches, which is pretty interesting. Yeah. So you might think this is a lot more difficult, but not really. Just make sure you just like slot it in. And where this is located though, it's right here. Just like that. I'll try my best to fit it in. Just press down. These locks here should like spring up. And you know, you just keep going. Oh, okay. Wow. That doesn't take too much. Alright, nice. Progress. We're making progress. Now the next thing we need to put over here, although I probably don't want to get too carried away. I want to check something here first. Well, there's the hard drive. And when I started up, it's spinning very loud. I hope that's like a good sign, but I'm hoping that it works. All right. And then we got data. Plenty of data on this drive. So I'm going to see if I can extract whatever that is valuable and maybe come back to it later. Thankfully, these data Thankfully, said data is under 3 gigabytes. This hard drive can hold up to 15. And I didn't think that we didn't have as much, but yeah, 15 gigabytes in at that time doesn't seem bad. But since it is running on an IDE drive, though, it's probably going to take a while. So, yeah, a while. But for the sake of preservation, hopefully I'll be able to back it up. And who knows what's on there that may be worth something, but that's why I'm doing this, especially for my mother. She wanted to write something on this thing at one point, but she couldn't really get around to it. But that's the beauty of preservation, right? Oh yes, preservation. This is gonna take a little a bit of time. All right, it's almost done. Almost done. And now it should be pretty much done. There we go. Well, that's taken care of. So, yeah, managed to back up the contents. And so I decided to turn it off. So now we managed to back up the contents of this drive. It's time for me to test something else. I'm going to do a few of the hardware tests while I'm at it. Alright, I want to test this I think it's this one here. Again. Okay, I think I got the wrong one here. It's supposed to like turn on. Is this not fully hooked? Because it should be. Because it should be hooked. I doubt that it will require extra. Oh, come on. I pressed the button. Well, it's on, but I'm not sure. Does it actually also require extra pins from this guy? Probably. Well, I can't seem to get it to do something, so right now it's not doing anything. I try to like press it in. Well, I'll find out for sure when I put it back together. Again, maybe it's just something to do with this. If it's on here anyway. So I think this one's a little special. I try to see if I can like fit in the floppy drive though, but I can't really test it because I don't have one. So I may as well have to like, I don't know, see what to do from here. Also, it's gonna be like nearly 15 till 3 in the morning, so I might take a break pretty soon. If not, I'll just sleep it. Well, it's the morning now, and I actually came back from my own little trip. So I decided to do a little bit of window shopping in order to pick up more batteries so that the motherboard will have a fresh CMOS battery, something, to save data and, to stop complaining like, no, the backup battery is like low and shit like that, and extra cans. Just, I pretty much use up quite a bit of cans while during cleaning from last night. In fact, I have like 3, well, WD-40 included. I actually use that for the fans too, just to give it a little bit of that lubrication, which I think it helps. Oh yeah, gotta have this too, because this computer does not come with a power cord to power the PC in the first place. And yeah, so if I haven't said already, I gave each components a nice thorough cleaning. including the power supply. That poor one. This is like really dirty, so I wanted to give it a good little cleaning, at least to the best of my ability. So it looks far less fugly now, and it should operate better. Because, why not? This is actually the first time I successfully do so. Now, it's probably best if you don't do this unless it is fully discharged. And most cases, people don't usually touch it. But I wanted to like make sure it's nice and clean. So that's gonna go in there as well. I don't think I've also shown how easy it is to actually pry this here case. So so I make sure that the CD spot also gets some cleaning up too. So even if I allow an hour of it later, I think it still has some that little blemishes left. It's hard to really see from the camera, but if you guys cannot, then I think I did a pretty alright job. But it should pick it up. I know I'm recording this at a low quality, but I don't think it's necessary. It's just a step-by-step process. But you know what? At least it looks far less scribbled than that. So I think this is as good as it'll ever get. So I can now lay that to rest until it's time to put her in for last. By the way, fun fact, did you know this case, or at least this whole computer, was made at around May 5th. Sorry, not May 5th. Why am I saying May 22nd of 2000? Yeah. I think that's the period correct, given the case in question. Anyway, let's continue on. Okay, so let's take the next step and insert these in. Something I wanted to do yesterday. Sorry if I'm a bit flipsy on this here. I realized one of these is Ethernet from Hawking's technology. It's hard to read like that, but you can only do it so much with one hand. Let's put her in. It could be in any slot. If there's one thing I honestly miss when it comes to the old tech, I know, like, I'm all for like new tech, don't get me wrong, but have you ever wondered why a lot of them have become fatter, heavier, and that they're actually like the most the latest graphics cards of today, the highest end models, weighted just as much as a brick. Doesn't that really tell you the current state of things we're in? Does that seem a little unfair? I don't know, but it just feels like it's just a lot more like, I can understand that the PCs in general tends to be somewhat expensive, but because of like the added elements like I guess ray tracing for one thing, and more processor cores and other technologies thrown into the mix. That's that one thing I found out though. They're so big and heavy, at least for the GPUs, that they begin to sag. That's the current state that we are in. They don't make like PCI cards or VGAs for that matter just thin like this. I honestly think there's one thing we miss along the way is just the thickness of it. It's, better just be thin than thick. Okay, so we'll just start by inserting the DVD CD drive. Sorry, I tend to think of it as a DVD because we're so accustomed to it. But remember, this is a CD drive, so I guess we could just set it somewhere lower, so it's just easier just to like snap it in place, or put something closer. People usually like to just leave it on top, just like that. And wow, look at that! That's super easy. We could do the same for the floppy drive. Actually, sorry. Here's another good look at the hard disk drive. Within its enclosure. If I take it out, though, I'm sure YouTube would demonetize this for nudity. Can't have that happen. Sorry, guys. But I can put this floppy drive. Floppy drive. Yeah. All right. So it's nothing too special. Good old floppy drives. Unfortunately, I could not find, or at least I don't think I have any that allows me to just like test this one out. So it has to be done while the machine is on. But I'm gonna have another computer pretty soon, so I could just test something out with it. It has everything it needs in order to power it up, but so we'll find out, see how that works when we get into the operating system of this guy. So I think it would be fitting to just put it either up here or down here. It's a bit closer. So you know what? I think it's not gonna hurt to just put it right here. Might take a bit of tries. Okay, here we go. Oh no! Okay, take two. Have to carefully line this up. Oh, second time's the charm, I think. Oh my goodness. I can actually hear the rust. Alright. Yeah, the rust coming from the top portion of it, though. Yeah, it's a bit more but I think it should be serviceable. At this point, though, I'm not going to worry about, I tend to come back and just, like, want to make sure I don't miss a spot. It's been a habit of mine, especially, I don't know if you can see that, but, like, to the eagle-eyed viewers, yeah, I know, I have this one over there. That was from yesterday before I realized, I might as well just buy a different power supply, or cord, whatever, right? So, that was actually borrowed from the other. Okay. Whatever, I know. Very messy setup. I gotta put these guys in now. Time to put this guy in first. Just like that. To actually insert these with these brackets, you're gonna have to like line the middle bit on the back, and as long as one of the bits here fits into that hole, then it will fit in. Something like that. It's gonna fit in just fine. All right, here we go. Another single-handed operation. Okay, now we need to put this face cover back up in its place. Again, if I can do it with just one hand, that'd be awesome. It might be a little easier if I just push this guy down. Quite happy with the end result. And then this can be like sorted back. Little hidden tabs on each end. Here's two. Just want to make sure. I think I actually did a good job because now it flushed in a little better. And now I can just press this. Gotta love that they provide you. Oh. Well, I think that's intentional. I think, yeah, that's intentional. It looks a little crooked, but not really. Okay. You can actually have up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 discs. So, cool. How convenient. Do we have anything equivalent to that in 2024 beyond? Now, I better make sure to not forget this and plug it in here. Right in here. Now, during my testing last night, I couldn't get the CD drive to pick up and read, so I'm not sure if it needed a bit more power or something. I hope that's the case. And now, time to put in this fresh CMOS battery for, well, this board. Just press it down. Now she won't complain whenever I boot it back up for the time being. fine. It's an old one, but still gotta try not to. Some of these cables are just so thick. How many times have I said it before? Let me know, because it's hard for me to keep track. Oh, fiddlesticks. You did not see that coming. Okay, yeah, so now it just needs to be screwed back in. Now, from my experience, you probably don't need to like put all every single bit here. It's just enough. You know, just enough so that as long as it's kept in place, that's all that matters. Did you know this case comes with the Windows 98 2nd edition key? In case if you need to like reset. Yeah. Yeah, of course. You know that. But you don't need my key if you want to access it, but you don't need my key if you want to access it. You could just find it yourself on the internet. It's super simple. I'm not gonna blur it. This thing doesn't require internet access. Kind of. I don't think you need it, but you know where to look for it. Because I'm not gonna use it. I don't have a CD that comes with it though. I don't know where that went. And what you're looking at, I only have like some of these left. Let's feed power to the motherboard now. That's a satisfying click right there. And we'll be sure to give this here and that. Actually, I might be able... No. See, again, I forget. I keep forgetting. This is not how it really works out. There's also the case that this also has that jumper, the thing too. So if I were to... so I would assume that's a master, so that the hard drive is in question is a master, which, or it is. You don't want to use the same cable for that. Well, there is like an extra pin. No, that's sorry. It's just it looks a little blurry on my camera, but you don't want to put it in the same ribbon cable. Just put it in its own individual spots. I guess you guys are starting to pick it up. Actually, I'll probably make sure to save it for later. Makes it easier to install. But I wouldn't mind putting this guy right in here. Maybe I got the other way. Part of this is all to do with trial and error. Just letting you know, you can do it. It takes a bit of effort. Some effort. Some degree of effort is required. Now this guy, we're just going to set it so this little hole lines up to where that is. Before I even get to that, we need to hook it up with one of these. Plug either one into the motherboard. For this case, I'll just plug this guy over here, and we'll just plug this guy onto the back of this. It also requires a power, but that's what the Molex cable is for. So we'll just put the pay thing, line it up where the little notch is. It should look something like this. And for a good measure, we'll put in the Molex connector. So now it provides the power. Again, it is feasible, possible. Just make sure you line it up to this part. I feel like this might be a little tricky given the awkwardness of the setup, but it's not impossible. Actually, I'm wrong. It's right over here. I noticed that there's like a slight eight, slight angle, but that's far more preferable in this manner. If I ever need to do some maintenance on this already 24-year-old case, I can always refer to this in the next 10 years, I don't know, from now. Has anyone ever considered doing something like that? Not to get too carried off, I want to make sure we also give this board the means to plug it in and that. So line up, especially with that little dot. I love this. This makes the front end connection super easy. Oh, so good. So good. I might be missing something here, but we're going to work on that as we go along. Actually, we do have the USB. I'll try to do my best to cable manage this. So, forgive me if it's a little messy, but it's a little tricky at times. So now we have what presumably a 9-pin. So we plug it right here, this little guy. That's going to be for the USB 2.0s up front. If this operating system supports booting to USB, that's probably going to be helpful. Might be helpful in the future. Now for the floppy drive header. This is easy as said, just like before. Make sure you line it up well. 1, 2, 3. Nice, satisfying click. And thankfully, over here is not in the way of all the others. Gotta have to do a little bit of like this. Gotta have to twist these. And that's the thing about these IDEs and stuff like that in general, including floppy drives. It's a little hard to make out, but if you can't see it, you can see it. Yeah. You could do it on the side. If you don't think you can fit it in, don't force it in until you get it right. Now is inserted. And now we'll hook this up to just a CD drive. Once again, in a similar manner, although this time this might pose a little bit of a difficulty, as this ribbon cable is actually covering on top of this. But it's not impossible. Believe me, it can be done. Just have to fit her in there well, and then you just have to wrap it up, maybe like that, so it goes. Come on, you. Thankfully, is actually the end cable just goes above that, just like that. Perfect. We'll even throw in a Molex connector. If you see a spare one, something like that, that's perfectly normal. They usually supply you with probably 1 or 2 more in case if you ever need an extra. Today's power bricks don't provide the same stuff. You have to like just want to make sure they could be tight to fit these. This is what makes Molex connectors somewhat infamous. They're just that tight.
So I'm just gonna leave the cables as is because it's already difficult as is. Plus, I'm not super concerned about this whole case since um, I do think it's pretty fine. Everything is all plugged in and hooked up. Again, you can kind of see the end result, minus the not so good cable management, but I try to. You're not going to be seeing something like this anytime soon. But there's still 1 to 2 more things that needs to be done, and we are going to screw these in. I know that the phone lines are is basically obsolete ish. I mean, I'm sure in some countries in the world they're still used, but I don't know if most people nowadays use smartphones just because why use that when you could just use this? I don't have an issue with that. I think smartphones are cool, but now it just makes these poor adapters somewhat obsolete. Who knows? Maybe they'll come in handy in the near future. Just as long as they work. Alright, that looks to be good. At least this part should be somewhat easy. It's kind of tricky to get it right in there with one hand. Now it just needs screws, and might as well give this here a little bit of love and affection. Damn it. And right back where you belong. Many hours over the night and a few hours in the mornings later, I finally managed to get this boy all nice and clean. What an amazing transformation. Well, though, I wish I could do more for it, but it almost looks so brand new. Well, I felt that I wanted to make one modification that I totally forgot to do, but well, guess what I did? I felt that an extra fan to take out the heat should help. The case doesn't come with it normally, so I decided to add that. However, due to some modifications needed in order to keep this guy stable, I had to add these. But, whatever helps, right? I'm gonna instead leave it as is so I can test to make sure it works properly. So it's time to do a little setup. Alright, so now with this setup made, and yeah, that's what I'm gonna have to do for now. I had to use a good old PS2 setup in order to just not to be confused with the PlayStation 2, which also go by as PS2, just because. So I plug it in, but I haven't turned it on just yet. But it did blink, so that means there's a sign of life for now, anyway. Let's see how it goes. So here she goes. It's coming up. Oh yeah, that's normal. Can't even see it because it's green. But I do have a way. That is... Okay, that's coming from the display, or the thing. Okay, so I just had to check here. Oh, look at that. Alright, that's perfectly normal. That's perfectly normal. That means we're actually, hopefully, we'll be getting into the operating system next. I know it's a little loud at this moment, but yeah. Just give it time. It's doing its magic. I wonder what that little blinker up there means. That's what I'm curious to know. Ah, yes, here she is. Oh, I don't know what that was, but it should be fine. Also, the fan be spinning, so I am doing something right about it. The machine is alive. Based on what I look into the files, some of the files has been around, or at least active as mode on the page. Function completed. What is that? I don't know. ODE. Yeah, it's a little stretch. I might have to do something about that actually. Can that actually be fixed? Or can I just like... Well, the keyboard's lit up, so that's something. Oh. I listen to the sound, if you can hear that. So we'll just give it a moment to do its thing, I guess. While I'm at it, I wonder what the aspect ratio it is for this right now. Not the... Oh, come on. Ah! Menu, I guess. Do you work at all? Psycho page function completed. Okay, after what felt like maybe a minute or two later, that's a long wait. We finally have access to the page. Oh snap. Oh snap. That is, of course, one of my sister's favorite. A new hardware wizard. Ooh, can I test with a mouse? No, but can I test it with... Can I press anything at least? No. Well, okay. Alright, so the first roadblock came to my attention. The fact that, well, I don't know if this keyboard works. I received it when this one got dumped. But the mouse itself, I'm not sure if that works, but then again, it should. And you know, I also thought maybe it would work with a legacy mouse, like, you know, this. Which I just so happen to have here, in case. But even that don't work. I guess we're so used to the fact that it would pick up something, but... Ugh, this is where we're at. I might have to reset the PC just to see if that makes a difference. Or just shutting it down. Take 2, pretty much. But at least it's going a little better without too much of a hitch this time. I'm surprised it actually stretches to this, so that's a good sign, I guess. I'm gonna be doing a lot of cuts, do I? And this came back up once again. I don't know if this is something I'm gonna have to get used to due to having to just turn it on and off. It might be important, I don't know, worth investigating later. It still is making progress. Even this little handy dandy indicator would blink to let you know progress is being made. And all this time, this machine is... I would say the hard drive itself is, again, the loudest of the bunch. It didn't have to be this loud. Alright,
is coming up again. This time I decided to leave the legacy mouse in it. I remember though that systems wouldn't play nicely if you don't have something in it before you plug it in the lap after the fact. But I'm gonna test it right now. Oh no. Don't tell me you're I am trying here. Can't even move this. Can't even move this. In all fairness for that, I had to use like a conversion because I have nothing that would be like, you know. It's gonna load into the operating system, just like that. Maybe if I give it a chance. It's amazing how we take for granted like instant boot ups, stuff like that. But for something like this, yeah, IDE drives are just as slow as I remember. Actually, my mother's hard drive, the other one, the newer one has, actually worked somewhat better. Oh, hey, check it out. It actually recognized, yay. HKTV Windows has found new hardware is looking software for it. I don't know if I want to do that. I probably don't have to worry about that. Ba-dum. Still waiting. Come on, I know you can load more. In all fairness, it's been forever since this poor machine has been like loaded into it. Can't do much but to just let it pass. It seemed to work pretty well. Okay, well I guess now a new device has appeared. Actually, the second time it took longer for that to get on, but nope. Oh, at least it recognized the keyboard. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Oh my gosh. I can't believe it works. Oh my gosh, this thing is actually pretty slow. So, I know I'm like, if I struggle with it, and if you don't know how to navigate it through mouse, here's what you can do. You just hold down tab, the tab, and then you just press and as you press tab, you also press alt to go back. You press tab to like move forward. I'm trying to like, I don't want to add new hardware this time. Okay, holy crap, that's like long. Let's hit enter. But I'm glad this keyboard works. Oh my gosh. I know I press enter, but it's taking its sweet ass time. Sweet ass time. Do you even cancel? Come on. I press the buttons, making sure it works, but oh my gosh. I mean, I'm pretty sure the hard drive works a lot better than it does, but I guess it's just how it is. My patience is starting to grow thinner and thinner now. It's getting nowhere. It's getting nowhere. Why can't I just simply hit cancel? Okay, what if I press Alt Tab? Is it gonna at least do something? Or is this keyboard buggered up because it won't press enter? I probably might try something different here. Well, I can try something newer, but also use this to plug it in. So if this thing can't work, even though it is PS2 compatible, maybe this might. Okay, so I may have to restart once again. So I had to like press it. But this thing is doing nothing for me. Oh, never mind. It does something. Man, don't you just love it when it sounds snappy? Yeah. Okay. Take number 3. I'll cut to chase. Okay, well, it felt like it took less time this time around. And that one actually sped up too, compared to the last recording. Alright, let's try with this keyboard now. I said let's try with this keyboard now. But the mouse works! Oh my god! You know what? I don't need to. Yes.
Dummy, watch your ears.
We'll
It's
change it
about to
later.
start.
Damn my ears. Yes. Oh, yeah. Well, there goes the horsey. I don't... Oh, never mind. It came back. I wonder if it's just because of this, of the machine that's a bit slow. Now, you might notice there's a lot of these Internet Explorer shortcuts. My mother tends to just save pages by dragging them onto the desktop. To this day, she still does so. Though I am quite curious as to wonder if most of these are still, well, fine, right? Let's check out some of the notable ones I see. You have, I guess you could start by saying you have the music, the Match Jukebox, Precognition Home, it's Jumpstart Advanced Third Grade. That's one of my favorites when I was a kid. This is one of the earlier before Discord, but before Skype, but before AOL. Mom introduced us to this. We didn't use it too much though. Oh yeah, math grade. And look at that. There's even Netscape. Don't know why that's here, but that's cool. Oh my gosh, I remember Real One Arcade, and then you got this older eBay logo. Firefan. Yeah, that's actually pretty decent. They're still around today. Education.com website. As far as I know, no personal information is, well, quite out there, I suppose. Which is fine. It also seems that the screen is able to, hold itself up fine. Oh. Okay, so gotta try to navigate this mouse. I had to do this several times. Oh god, it's actually kind of a little tricky. I might need to clean up the mouse rings too. Oh, and Grenamail, my mother loves to use that. You got Jumpstart. You got Jumpstart. Real Player, that's a pretty solid one. Can I start that and see what it looks like? Oh, damn. Real Player. Real Player. Oh, snap. You got stuff. And you can do burn stuff. That's so cool. That's so cool. Surprisingly, this one came out in 2005, so this is actually one of the later things. And you also got silly songs and stuff. I don't think there's nothing that is concerning. Okay, yeah, I'm cleaning this lint out. That's quite a lot. Gotta keep the balls and stuff like this all clean. This is what I had to deal with before we went with lasers. They get a little crusty, but that's how it is usually. And this is the ball, so it, it's responsible for that. Cool, huh? I'm gonna give it a little clean, see if that helps. Alright, that should allow the mouse to move a little better. Not perfect, but it's better than it has been. What else can we find? Well, honestly, I don't think there isn't much. I did look into the contents, but it's just the same things that... Holy jumpins'. Look at all the favorites. She certainly loves to make good use of it. Lots and lots and lots. Yeah. Davis Learning Center. Yeah. I don't know. You might need to see the CDs in order to really use it, but I'm gonna try it out. Actually, let's try not to blast our ears to death by turning down the volume. Yeah, that's fine. Will this require the CD? Probably. Yes or no? Most of the time, you probably would if you want to save space, or if you actually insert it fully, then yeah, you probably would. But it wouldn't hurt to try it out. It probably didn't. They didn't even give you a little heads up, and it's like, yeah, no, you can't start without a CD. You can't start it without the CD. 4th grade. Alright, maybe 4th grade? Not gonna lie, we never really graduated. Okay, that is a bit of a jump scare. Oh, why can't I just do it that way? This little... Without without the scroll wheel, especially for this thing, it makes a difference. We actually do have a bunch of CDs, and most of them I brought it over from back from my mother's. So one of these days I might give it a shot. Most of them, you know, Altier Mia, but this one I have no clue what that was. But I think it's just a Frenchy sort of thing. You might need a CD to activate it too. Well, it's trying. It's trying. It's trying. I actually tested this on my main rig to see if it does anything. So we get this error message in French. Feel free to translate it if you want, but it basically said, yeah, screen needs to be at this resolution at the minimum, 32 bits. I don't know why. This computer meets those specs just fine. I guess it's just another way of saying, where's the CD? What is a Pet Vet 2? And then you got mine. Oh, Kid Pix number 4. I think that's probably Kid Pix Deluxe. We'll try one more. Yay, double feature. Okay, well, yeah. To be frank, there's not much I can really do on this point, but but I'm very proud to say I got something to work, and I'm happy about that. But wait, there's more. The good thing is I actually noticed during recording, both of these drives are in fact, well, working. Right now, I don't have I don't have one for this yet. I will get to that in a bit. But this, I want to test that. Oh boy. It's supposed to work. It's supposed to respond. So I guess this drive kind of works. I need something to get in that little hole to see if I can at least get it to respond. If there's ever if there's ever an issue when it comes to like if something is stuck, you would just have to like use something like this. Oh damn, it's too short. All right, this might be a bit of a stretch. Ugh. Oh, damn it. Oh, it certainly got in pretty far. A bit of a twist method helps, but man, why did it have to make holes so small? Like, what's their problem? What on earth is their problem? Well, I guess that's as far as I can go then with the toothpicks. But it did a good job shredding that. I really tried to find anything to fit into that hole. We don't have paper clips even in our house. I tried a tool. I don't know. I couldn't even find an Apple thing that, you know, has about this size. I mean, this thing has the best odds, but it's still too damn short. I don't know how. This is probably one of the more frustrating things. So, this... yeah. I could try to bash it all I want, but can't do anything about it. Well, there goes that. But I am interested to see if this floppy drive even works. So it should do something, right? Right?
right? I might need to check. Mind you, though, there's actually more stuff in here. Oh, nice. Console Windows Media Player. Okay, cool. Alright, let's check if there's any. Okay, so it does work. So that's at least that's a positive thing I can say about it. But actually, there is something I want to do, but that's something I will get to. I wonder what's in system save. Okay, right, well, I guess there's nothing. But yeah, if you're wondering, that's a Windows ME installer. I have 2 more floppy drives that we have. Well, I don't know who that is, but I don't know who, but 2 more to put into this guy. So at least we can try one of them. I have an external the USB floppy drive earlier, but I never use it up until yeah. So let's see if it works this time. Come on, screen. Here we go. Okay. Might take a bit of time though. The disk drive A is not formatted. I don't think I need to do that right now. But if it's not formatted, then there's nothing on it. So I think that's fine. This is the bloater worm patcher for whatever reason. It's actually pretty satisfying, just like it just does that. And then you have to really just select this. There we go. Yes. Hey yo, check it out. Oh, that's for like Windows XP. Okay, that's actually kind of cool. You have the cover letter as well. So you have like this Windows XP, possibly for the bloater or bloater patch, and then you got this. Eventually, I may need to pick up more fresh drives, but at least this one is healthy. And yeah, I tried to look into it, but it says otherwise. No, it can't seem to find it. Might not be the best, I guess. Alright, we are now in the settings. We call this control panel, but it's the same thing, I guess. Quick, find fast. I don't know. What display? Does it recognize the display of this device? Currently, this display is actually running at this setting, so if I clock it a little higher, it should probably hit to closer to. Holy jumping, is it gonna go that high, is it? Does it actually work for this? Let's try it. Yes. Mind you, this one does not go past that, but if it does, then oh yes. Although at the diminished colors, but it works. High color. Oh, you know what? I wonder if this is because. Yeah. True color. Or something like that. Not bad. Cancel. So, as far as investigation goes,
this machine works to some extent. For the most part, at least the mouse works. It is rather slow when it comes to just getting things up and going, but I guess after a little while it should probably work a little better. I don't know, but maybe a few more attempts and maybe it'll run better. I am thinking of eventually. I'm planning on like reformatting this computer so it will at least run smoother again. But obviously, I'll probably just give it a good old clean. I have backed it up again before do the formatting. But there's a few more things I want to do before I do any of that, and that is to at least get the boot disk made. So hopefully we'll get that working somehow. All right, well that's pretty rough, but I had to actually take this out and had to disassemble this unit and check to see what needs to be clean on the inside and lubricate that crap, whatever. But now I have not tested it yet, but at least I got that out. But I need to test to make sure that it works. Well, I booted up the computer. This thing should react, but I don't know. I tried to press the button, and still nothing. Most likely that, although it is on, you can really tell by that green light. In spite of my efforts in trying to repair it, maybe it got stuck or something, it refuses to work. So, I don't know what to think of it though. This might be a dead drive, or partially. I wouldn't say it's outright dead, but it's not responding. Yes, I know. Although that seems like it stops after a little while. So, two ways you can go about it. Get a replacement, or just, I don't know. I also found during when I was like working on it, I hear a bit of rattle noises. So I don't know if something has to do with that, but it's most likely just, well, it doesn't work. You know what? It seems like it just stays lit. It's not even trying to, like, read. Well, sucks to say, but I don't think I can't get this one to work anytime. So, but, you know, this one is fine, it works. This is no good. I don't know how long it's been like that, but yeah. I tried to look into the BIOS as well, see if they have any other ways, because if I want to install the operating system, especially as a fresh one with Windows 98, I'm gonna need a bit more. Turns out this thing is a lot crappier, in spite of the fact it does support USB right out of the front. Well, except you can't boot directly to USB or something of that sort. I can't tell. Right. It's gonna play a noise soon, actually. But yeah. I guess it kind of sucked. Decent spec PC, but sucks when it comes to support. I hope my that my new build isn't gonna be as bad, but that's why I'd rather not use OEM parts to do what I do, right? So, well, because I can't really boot to, because I cannot really boot to CD now. Only floppy drives, but the thing about floppy drives is they're extremely limited. I can't use USB because, well, I mean, I could try, but it's useless if I don't have this one working. unless you know I have this working, but I tried using that, but nope, this computer does not come with it. Yes, I tried to get it. I did get into BIOS, but it is very limited. I don't know how anyone would ever get around to like really fix it. So, what to make of this? Honest to God, I can't tell you how frustrating the latter half is. Cleaning and restoring it is probably more fun than getting everything to work properly with software drivers and stuff. I also learned again, you know. Ah. Get up there. Not trying to do a bad job here, but come on. Then I gotta remember, if I'm gonna do any further maintenance, this needs to be like that. But I may as well just leave it on lock, right? Yeah, play monitor, yeah. No. So, I don't know. I feel like I'm out of options. I don't want to spend more money on unnecessary things unless I absolutely have to. I'm already spent trying to like get the CMOS battery replaced, and other things. I can't make up what else I can really work on this PC. I mean, I could test some of the games, but I don't feel like it, and perhaps I'm a bit too exhausted to really bother to care. I mean, I guess MS-DOS might still be an option, I guess, but I don't know. Maybe I can get a boot to DOS only and maybe get it through that, but I don't know. It is something I had to do. Also, I find this really bad quirk with this. If you shut this off, and then I don't know, maybe it's just the way the jumper is. I don't know. Oh, and now I guess the mouse doesn't want to work again. Well, that can't be good. But what about everything else? Next event, though. What a sad PC. I guess I'm not surprised it was just left abandoned. I'm not sure what else to do. I spent many hours today trying to just get this one to work. And while I did a good job cleaning it up and restoring it to the best of my abilities, but unfortunately, I don't know. This thing, you can't really do anything without this compact disc. Let alone even get that to work, you know. Look at that, you know, freaking USB hub. You know what? I think that's fine. This is where it's gonna end for the time being. So I'll just end it for now. Maybe I'll post the future updates, I don't know. But I'm too exhausted. So, yeah, who knows? See you in part 2, maybe? Anyway. Laters.
Go like and subscribe this dummy for part 2, maybe.